Have you ever been with a porno girl?
Yes.
A professional pornography person?
Several times, yes.
Oh, several times. And how does that... See, that would intimidate me because I would think... You know how when you're in bed sometimes and you're like, you're doing something that you think you invented? Have you ever done that? And then
I did invent them. I'm still thinking that.
I believe it.
Because oftentimes it might have just been the pornographer's girl's husband that actually invented it.
Well, I don't know that the husbands, the spouses of people in pornography are sexual pioneers. I imagine that they are like shuffling little eunuchs in the sex. They've married a person who's working in pornography.
Yeah.
If you're prepared to make that Faustian pact, where are you psychologically?
Yeah, well, you go out with them.
This is a casual interchange. That's like, you know, I'm making more of a commitment to you by sitting here. So I mean, it's not
But
like,
is it a
let's go on a
challenge to you?
voyage. Yes, but like for me, look, what you got to think of, don't see sex as some treacherous, deceitful, grubby little act. It can be that. But see it instead as, I see it as a beautiful confluence. And then women in pornography, if you treat them very, very, very lovingly and graciously, it awakens within them. In addition to their skill and their willingness to experiment, there's an incredible, I don't know, joie de vivre, an incredible libido in its literal sense, life force that you can be accessed. I don't think be intimidated sexually unless it's by some sort of strata of being you don't typically want to have sex with, like a cow or a camel or, in my case, a man.
Yes.
You know, that would be intimidating for me. I don't know how all of the orifices work.
Yeah. I think that's exactly the same.
With a camel.
Yeah. Well, I'm an old chug of coal. I'm near 50.
Uh-huh.
I'm on the same Viagra dosage that they give to the donkey at the second show in Tijuana. That's what my doctor told me. I envy you because you're a more enlightened person. See, I think of sex as a shameful, filthy act.
Catholic, are you?
No.
Oh, where have you picked this up?
I grew up that way, and I
Out on the farm, watching animals doing it in rural Canada.
Sow.
A moose being ransacked against some timber. Sow. They listen.
We were pig farmers.
They're not gracious creatures when it comes to conjugal matters. I've recently had an
Worst
interaction.
oral sex you could imagine.
Horrible gums,
Yes.
sort of yellowing molars. I would never engage in sex with anything porcine. I see once, I went round a friend's house, they had a pig, they thought it was an angle.
Yeah.
I go, it's like, they goes, oh, the pig's coming out, and I could hear it. So this sort of desperate respiratory announcements preceded its arrival.
Yeah.
It come out, blind it was, shuffled out at me, and they went, with a pig, and you'll know this being from the world of pig farming, they said never take a step back once that pig comes out, otherwise the pig owns the hierarchical status between the two of you.
Yeah.
In fact, take a step towards the pig. Never did I deny my nature more, I'm a vegetarian, than stepping towards this unholy looking creature.
It is.
I did it anyway.
It is an unholy creature, for God's sakes. Jesus threw the demons in them and let them go over the cliff. I once saw a video, and I don't search out these videos, but you know when guys show them to you, they go, "You'll want to see this," and you're like, Jesus, and then there's no one seeing it, you know. But it was a guy a pig having sex with a lady.
I've seen that.
And
They have prehensile penises, don't
They do.
Like corkscrews.
Yeah.
It's like their penis is its own independent entity trying to get away from the pig, which all of us can identify with. Ghastly little
But
creature.
I felt sorry for the pig because here's the pig having sex with a beautiful woman, then they throw him back in the sty, you know? You know what I'm saying?
It's like a cruel thing to do. It's like the midpoint of trading places. It's a very unfair thing to do that.
Do you actually think that they would like a man's sperm?
A human.
A human being's sperm? A woman?
Well, who?
A woman.
A woman would like a man's sperm. Well, yeah, she's been biologically programmed
In her
through
mouth?
millennia. Not necessarily through her mouth, but I think there's a point where a little bit of deviation from the linear realms of sex is okay, mate. But when you sort of take a big radical turn,
But in your mouth, like,
cum,
isn't that stuff like living? Isn't that like aren't those animals, little tiny tadpoles or something?
I didn't know it was going to have to get this deep. All right, then. Yeah, they're like little tadpoles. But like, you know, the cells in the woman's mouth, the woman's basically the same genetic material as us anyway. I mean, it's only a confluence, you know, an interaction of mammalian material. Now, you could argue, well, so is it with the pig. But there's an important 1 or 2% of genetic difference that I think has to be observed in conjugal matters between species. That's my position.
I agree with you completely.
But a human being, I think any...
Little one, you've been away so long, and I need you now more than forever.
What do you think is wronger?
Wrong in...
More wrong. What do you think is more wrong? Having sex with a child, human being, or an adult pig?
Like, you've got to do one. That's the
You got to
options.
do one, yeah. You're on a deserted
It's
island.
not me, it's some hypothetical
You're
person.
on a deserted
Russell
island
Brand,
with a
am
single tree.
elevated. It's
You're
not
on a-
me, it's this person called Doug.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Doug
exactly.
is on this island.
Doug
Look,
is on a...
do it with... Look, I won't have sex with a child because I think the pig may not be as bothered as a child. I think it could have huge psychological impact on the child. So out of compassion, I would advise Doug to do it with the pig and to leave the child alone because of the potential psychological impact. Even though the child's on a bloody island anyway, that's going to mess him up, all that Robinson Crusoe crap.
How old are you?
Well, hold on a minute, that's non sequitur.
What kind of
Your
erection
questions.
do you have?
Hold on a second, mine's marvellous. But let's say
Because mine is bendy. This is my problem. Everything's going well with the lady.
Yes, you've got
And
an
I
erection.
have my sex.
That's my erection, gorgeous, straight, little bit of a swan turn towards the back, which helps with the G spot. That I can manage that using techniques.
G-spot. You can actually find that?
Mate, what are you doing in that bedroom? What are you getting up
I
to?
can't. They have the clitoris, the G-spot.
He's
I
eating
couldn't
lard.
even find a guy's balls if I had to.
Well, you don't need to do that, mate. You're not determined to on accounts of your predilections, but you've got to know how their equipment works.
Yeah, I just
I
guess.
can help you out.
How would you do that?
I just give you some basic techniques, some basic.
Sex, right? And I get the mood going.
The mood's going.
I have 4 covers and a big quilt. And then
Well, I'm getting hard
I turn.
with your big Snoopy bed.
I don't have a Snoopy bed. I have
4 covers and a quilt.
No, I have one of those beds that go like it's actually sexy. It moves
Like
up
the
and
Walton's
down.
house. Was it? The
Then I get the
Dust Bowl.
mood.
Who wrote your house? John Steinbeck.
Then I get the mood going. I turn down the lights till it's Stygian black. And then I climb underneath the covers. I lay on top of the lady for 4 or 5 minutes. And she doesn't seem to enjoy it.
No, it sounds like an assault. It's like
But
having-
one time I tried this animalistic approach where the lady is on her hands and knees. You know that position?
I do know it.
Yeah. Named after a dog. Like,
Rather reductive.
A what?
Could be, it's reductive. Could
Yes.
be anything that's got 4 legs.
Yes, exactly.
Couldn't it?
Exactly. Anyways, I go to put my cock in, and it starts.
Delightful.
It starts bending. It's like,
Which direction?
well, I have a kind of long cock, but
Congratulations.
but it's not thick. Turns out they only enjoy thick ones. But so it goes like this. Then
Just
it
like
bends.
a pencil. It feels like a medical
Have you
exam.
seen like when an inchworm? It's
don't
more than
know
an
what that
inch.
is.
But when a 12.5 inch worm goes like.
I don't know this creature, Norm.
Because your erection is banging on your belly every morning, whereas when you reach my age, I'm an old chunk of coal. I'm 49. I'm damn near 50. I've seen more sunsets than I'm going to see. Let's be honest.